there are multiple levels or layers to a song, and you're at the build up. So which one do you do? Which one do you focus on? Like, yeah, but I'm focusing on the lyrics. But yeah, what about the snares? My philosophy behind that type of stuff is that once an element is introduced, you acknowledge it. Let's watch this one more time. Right. He still could have hit the snares there. Join the Gloving Academy Discord. Here you can share light shows and lab with other glovers from all around the world. We have an awesome community dedicated to helping each other improve. This is the only place in gloving where you can get rewarded with free gloving gear just by being active and participating in public events happening every month. I have already given out a handful of recharge packs, and all you have to do is be active within the Discord. We've got workshops, concept labs, competitions, and a growing library of free resources available no matter what skill level you are. And if you would like for me to do a frame-by-frame video of your light show, you can submit your video on the Discord. We're only going to get bigger and better from here, so follow the link in the description to join. Mr. 30K, bro. Hey, the question was, give me a pro to watch for tomorrow's stream, and 30K just got sponsored, so he's still considered a pro. So we're gonna go watch this one. We're gonna watch 30K's video, bro. Let's go watch 30K's video. He's a pro now, you know? Yeah, let me kind of just shift my thinking a little bit for this frame by frame. I'm just gonna go ahead and watch 30K. Considering that 30K is now pro, new Glow LED sponsor. Let's go ahead and watch. Wait, how long was this video? How long ago? Bro, this was 2 years ago. He is so much better today. I don't even know if I want to watch this now, because it's 2 years ago. Let's go ahead and watch 30K's video. We're going to watch 30K's video. Even though it was 2 years ago. This move I could never make good on myself. The thing about 30K, in my opinion, is that he has really good presence.
Don't know who gave you the right. It's been like this for days.
Oh, that little shake there. The thing about 30K's movement is that he's very intense as well. Like, I think he matches intense songs really well. He brings the intensity. Pretty dope. I wish he hit it a little harder. Oh, that was sick. Whips are on point there.
Maybe I don't like it, maybe I do. Maybe it's just scary cause it's new. I don't wanna fight it, but I don't wanna lose. Heart is racing, head is dizzy. I can't sleep at night cause I just watch it as for me. You're taking up my space.
That head space, bro. He went around his head.
You're taking up my space.
Oh, shit. He changed modes there. That was freaking solid, bro. I feel like 30K is one of those guys who he's one of the very few guys who, in my honest opinion, makes mouthing the lyrics of the song good. Like, there's not a lot of Glovers where I can say they pull it off really well. Because usually I cringe. Usually I cringe when I see Glovers sing to the song. But like, I think when 30K does it, it's pretty well done. Like there's something about it like where he sells it. Not only that, but like I feel like because his movements are very intense, and if I'm not mistaken, he usually gloves to like a lot of feelsy songs, and I kind of know him a little bit personally, so like I could vibe with like it's not like he's faking it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel fake. Like he sells his movements, and there's just something within his body language and the speed that he uses that really adds to his persona, that intensity in his character. Like he might be one of those guys where like if you see him glove, you see him. That you see 30K. And yeah, let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's dive a little bit deeper into his show. Showmanship is fire, 100%. Super dope showmanship. Like I think like his showmanship is honestly like the strongest part about his shows. There's this moment where like if you pay attention to his eyes, and I always talk about there's always elements that aren't just gloving that kind of set the tone, right? He's closing his eyes, like he feels it. He's getting ready. He's a performer. He's a performer, and he's like feeling the song. He's downloading the song. You know, already knows the song. And the moment he pops up right there, he opens his eyes. That is dope. I love stuff like that. Incorporating more than just your hands in the show, right? A lot of glovers are afraid to do that. Get comfortable in your own skin, guys. That's what I can say. Get comfortable in your own skin. Okay, he does this move pretty well. This is an OG. I don't even know what to call this. What do we call this move, guys? I don't even know what that move's called. 11 plus years of gloving. I don't even know what this is called. What is this? I could never do it. Look at that. That looks like ass. Does anybody know the name of this move? What is that move called? Great use of an intro, right? He comes close, opens his eyes, comes out of symmetry. He's not going into his tech early. He's setting the tone. Very, very dramatic. This is a very interesting use of liquid here. Very subtle. I don't even know if it's liquid actually. It's more of like a point of contact liquid-esque type of move right here. But pay attention to his backhand here, okay? Doing that right there. Boom. He's curving it, bro. He's curving it, but he has like that point of contact on his wrist or his top of his wrist here. That's a very interesting use of point of contact there because, you know, when we do liquid, we're always following and guiding, right? But like what about like utilizing depth within the liquid to create a deeper space, like a deeper illusion? I think that's something that's not very oftenly used. It's a really cool move. Lyricality, guys. Lyricality is always good. I know it's sometimes can be a little bit cliche, but face, gotta go with the face. Lyrics is face, gotta go with the face. Gotta use the lyrics to your advantage.
Maybe I don't like it, maybe I do.
Really dope use of digits there with the song. Good musicality. Maybe I do. 4 syllables. 4 digits. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Shit, man. Because of musicality, God.
Maybe it's just scary because it's
Damn, he does it again?
new. Maybe it's just scary
Maybe it, dude, he does it with the other side. Really good musicality.
because it's new. I don't wanna fight it, but I don't wanna lose.
It's so far the whole show's just been musicality, setting the tone of musicality. We're 43 seconds in the show, 43. Okay, this is good as a performance, as a performer. You know, I think he's doing his job well because the song hasn't dropped yet, all the elements hasn't dropped yet, but neither has he, right? And the creativity behind building the song, I think, is very cool because like he's utilizing different like miming. He's basically utilizing miming and a lot of the lyrics. And he's not just doing them, but like he's playing with like his dexterity, right? It's like he's doing something like that or whatever, but like he's utilizing that and he's playing, he's miming, and he's doing like a little bit of dexterous moves to kind of, you know, not be boring. Like, imagine if he was just literally doing every single lyric, like, how do you say it? Like, logically, right? That would be so boring if he were just doing movements to the lyrics, but not utilizing any form of gloving move. That would be so... That's not even gloving at that point. It's like interpretive dance. Super... Notice the tick in the song when he comes, Headspace, right? Listen to the song Headspace. Listen to the lyrics. Click, right? And he's... Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I can give that to him. I thought he clicked it. Let's look at that one more time. He did. I'll give that to him. He, like, did the tick with his hands, right? Like, that's crazy. Yeah, and then he hits the second one. Now, okay, this is a question that I propose to you guys, okay? Is any of his moves dirty? Like, it's not unclean, right? He's doing a lot of, like, bigger movements that were pretty spot on in terms of, like, cleanliness. But there's something about it that is so sporadic that, like, there might be an element where, like, because there hasn't been a consistent line of connections, it feels very break-apart-ish. Do you guys get that? Even though, like, because we're like 51 seconds in the song out of 3 minutes with no gloving yet. It's weird. It's a weird, I don't want to say vibe, but it's a weird part of gloving that I feel like, because everything is being broken apart, it's hard. My mind is like, okay, I want to see clean connections, but I mean, obviously you don't want to do the connections yet, but it feels PC. Maybe PC. One more time. Look at that. He hits that tick with just this. With just this pointer. He's playing around with the moves, you know? Let's watch that one more time. Like right here. Let's go back to this form here. It's not quite symmetrical in this specific position, because he came from symmetrical to like a little bit angled, you know? It's super nitpicky, I know. But that compared to just straight U. Like a straight U. What if it was just straight, completely straight? Like, we're a minute in. We're half the show is almost done, and we haven't gone into any complex concepts, okay? And this is good. This is a good thing, because you don't want to be throwing all your concepts out at the beginning of the show, right? In terms of, like, movement progression, I think 30K did an amazing job. I do think that he could get away with a little bit of more complexity and teasing some of his concepts prior though, because there's a certain threshold where like if you're doing like a lot of like filler stuff, then it can kind of get like you can kind of just I can kind of as an audience like I'll tend to zone out, right? If it's like the same type of movements, if you're symmetrical and you're balanced the whole time and you're doing the same thing the whole time, me personally, it's like I kind of want to see a little bit of like levels to it, right? But I mean, this was 2 years ago, so I can't be too harsh. Okay, interesting part of the song. Snares come in. I want to see that somehow, but we don't hit it. But there's that challenge, right? There's that challenge of, because we're at the build-up, it's like you don't want to go too fast, where you're faster than the drop. Or maybe you do. Maybe in this situation you do. It's all subjective in the end, right? And he's mainly hitting the lyrics still, you know? Can you hit it both at the same time though? That's a thing with guys with like insane musicality, right? Well, that's just a thing with just musicality in general, is that there are multiple levels or layers to a song, and you're at the build-up. So which one do you do? Which one do you focus on? Like, yeah, but I'm focusing on the lyrics. But yeah, what about the snares? My philosophy behind that type of stuff is that once an element is introduced, you acknowledge it. That's my take on that. Once an instrument comes in, a new instrument comes in, you acknowledge it. You move to it, but you also try your best to hit the stuff under as well, because I know the Headspace lyric comes out and he's setting up for that, right? Let's watch this one more time. Right? He still could have hit the snares there. He still could have hit the snares and just do a more dramatic pause, right? There's a difference between like hitting that build up and you constantly moving and then you go boom, versus that snare hitting and then you pause and then you pop, you pop, you boom, right? It's a bigger contrast that, in my opinion, it pays off a little bit more than if you were in the constant movement. Then you're hitting that pause later on. You know? To me, the bigger contrast is a bigger impact. But let's see what he does at the drop. I wish he went harder at the drop. It's like we went dramatic to like I do like that he is way more like he's showing you basically the contents though. Like he didn't showcase any of these like technical forms at the drop. I mean at the intro, which is good. In terms of like storytelling for tech, this is good. This is really solid. Little bit of a logical problem there when he does this. He goes into like this, okay? This is a nice form. This is a super nice form. He goes into this, but he goes from digit. Oh, interesting. He does like 3 separate digits. 1, then 2, then 3. But you can see that the control in his middle finger is a little bit off. There's like a little bit of a... You see, now he corrects himself. There's no correction here. This is kind of a lack of control here. Then he straightens it out. But when he goes around... You see the backhand is already moving before his hand is coming around. And he lands lower. he lands lower for some reason, right? So he's doing something like this. He's doing something like this, boom, and then he kind of like loses it. When like compare like boom, 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 and then you like stick around. You keep that point of contact around, like keeping it at that same level versus kind of like you know, it's like a bending. It's like he's bending his like body lower, and it's not quite as a nice looking angle compared to if you had stayed at that top level. Because let's see what he goes into. Yeah, he's lingering here. He's not quite comfortable with this move. Yeah, he lands into this form and it kind of just places it there, right? Logically. Yeah, it's tough. Especially during bigger beats where like you want to do bigger movements. Sometimes it's better to commit to the movements. Sometimes it's more musical when you commit to the movements and everything is cleaner so then that the audience can digest it and their interpretation is like, okay, he hit that well, compared to when you're trying to hit it and then you're not making logical sense with your movements. And so then therefore me as the viewer is interpreting that as he messed up. Does that make sense? Right? Because we've all been there. We've all been there where we kind of just, we're in the movement and we're like, and then we hit it with secondary movement, right? We're just moving our whole body just for the sake of hitting the beat because we feel like it's musically good. But, you know, to a more trained eye, it's sticking and committing to your movements that may translate more better for musicality. I know I kind of like worded that a little bit weird, but you know, that's the thing with musicality, man. Everyone has a different ear for musicality, but like everyone has a different eye and ear for musicality. But, you know, let's say that this was a competition, you know, like it's that execution, right? It's in the end, it's making sure if you meant to do that and that your execution is proper, right? And so it is a little bit of a grid thing. That was freaking great. Let's just watch that one more time with that sound of the pop 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 pop. Damn! Dude, 30KO, he does this thing. He does this thing when he whips, okay? Where like when he's just unloading, he'll like do this like he like to like look back. He'll like lean back a little bit when he does his whips. That's a him thing. Look when he does it. He's like leaning back right now. Right there, that thing. I like how he's got that Glover face on too. He's like squinting. That's a hard freaking habit to break. Like I have that problem. I have that problem just squinting every single time I glove. Oh, look at that. He's doing like a little, like a digit roll with like a pedal almost. He's doing this. He's doing that, right? That little pedal move, but he's doing the digits with him. I love that. That's super sick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keep repeating it. That makes for some really good cause and effect. That was that mode change. I don't even know when he mode changed there. Was it there? Was it when he put his hands down? Yeah, it was. I did the same thing in my lights on, in one of my lights on submissions in season 1, where like I literally just went down to kind of cover the me clicking portion of it so that you don't see it, and then like coming back up with the mode change. I think it's a very smart way to just mode change if you're not really good at mode changing. Because let's be real, man, like when you're just in your flow and you're like gloving, like it's really hard to hide that you know, it's you do that little thing and it looks like an error. But hide your lights if you can't do it properly. That's a good fix. I think there's a very interesting decision that the drop goes 10 times harder, the second drop. But he chooses to move slower with a blinkier set. I think that's an interesting decision. I would have liked to see slower movements with higher impact. You know? I would have loved to see, because listen to this. Listen to the song. Right, there's that like, it goes harder. It's like, right? And the blinkiness adds to that impact, but I wanted to see him do like a little bit of that slower movement, but like hit harder. Slower movement, then hit harder, right? But like we're in that like slow movement a little bit longer. You just had to hit it harder just a little bit. Z-axis. Boom. Boom, right? There is a little bit of, I'm not even gonna say a little bit. There's a lot of transitional breaks, I will say. If you pay attention to like the technical aspect of his shows, like he's very in and out. It's very in and out. There's not really a long connection in his shows. It's very surface. Like it's very like he's there, he'll do that, and then he's back out to like liquid or something, or like very filler, right? Kind of like, and in between the filler, it's a lot of emotion and a lot of like liquid and more rolls, which might be the weaker aspect of 30K's shows. Okay, this is the thing, okay? 30K's showmanship setups are really good. Like, he knows how to bring you in, and I think that adds to the overall experience. I wanted to still see him do a little bit more harder stuff at this point, because he's been doing a lot of these finger roll flow type moves. He did a more than half the show with that, you know what I'm saying? I want his controlled intensity. That's a great way of putting it. Controlled intensity. Yeah, because some people, they can go off the rails and it's just completely dirty, but then I will have to say, over the years of watching 30, he has really learned how to control more of his movements, and like he's learned a lot of new moves and technical stuff. That was freak. Do you see that? Did you guys see that? He hits that, I don't know if I'm using this term right. Someone please correct me. That like vibrato sound, and he like wiggles it up. That's good musicality. That's really good musicality. One of the hardest things, I think, is trying to glovify like miming moves, right? Because sometimes we can be so stuck in doing all the miming moves that like I think there's another level there where like you incorporate every single miming move into a gloving move. A good example of this is, I'm a little bit like biased, I guess, but Mez's Lights On Season 5 Grand Finals video. When he does like his showmanship moves, he utilized every single move and turned it into a clock. You know what I mean? Like he did, like I remember he's doing like the countdown. It was like a countdown from like 5, 4, I don't remember, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But like he did the 5 and then he did the clock and then he did the 4 and then he did the clock and then he did the 3 and then he did the compression wave or something like that, right? I think that's like, to me, like that's it, right? And then so like doing, I mean, it's cool. Like I love, you know, adding more of that miming and that like adding to more of your persona, but like translate it into gloving, right? So I guess the biggest thing that I will say for 30K's video is that, and granted guys, this video was 2 years ago. He is probably so much better now. I know he's a lot better now. But if we were to have jump back in time, I would have told him at this very moment that I wanted to see a more better use of his miming added gloving move / complexity. Turning all his miming into gloving. I also wanted to see not as many filler, and you can do different types of fillers that aren't finger rolls and liquid and whips, right? You can still do like paused forms and kind of like utilize like dials, right? Or like utilizing your thumbs, utilizing grid space with tech. But I will say for the song, maybe it would have been a little bit weird for that. Actually, I take that back. I think you could do this song with any particular concept and it still work. I wholeheartedly believe that. And there was a little bit of like logic that was missing, but there weren't a lot of examples of where I could point out where the logic was bad. Besides that one time where he was like doing this kind of like form and he did the jit and he kind of just got out of it like that. But the fact that I can't really comment on a lot of grid related stuff kind of hints towards maybe his level of complexity in this current time, right? It's not a complex show by any means, but does it need to be a complex show for the song? I don't think so. I think it's literally just him expressing his feelings and, you know, he just wants to do the song. And sometimes that's what gloving's all about. You want to throw a show to this song and just kind of let all your feelings out. That is gloving too, you know? So I was a little bit more lenient on this show, but nonetheless, freaking amazing. I think 30K is just one of the very few guys who has that level of intensity nowadays. Like if you think of intensity nowadays, there's not a lot of guys. I'm not even as intense as I was 3 years ago. I'm just like I'm a tech whore now. What happened to me? If you're looking for whites, battery skins, or any other gloving accessories, head on over to glow-leds.com and don't forget to use my code AlohaNation for 10% off. Big shout outs to all current Gloving Academy Patreon subscribers. Here they are. Thank you so much for all the support. Seriously, guys. The Patreon's got weekly educational and never before seen content. So if you want to take your gloving to the next level and learn from me, come join the Gloving Academy Patreon.